Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey with Pilot Vlogs here, and just hanging out today in the Hampton Inn. Happy Halloween. If you're new to this channel and you're into aviation and you want to know what life is like as a pilot, not just the flying videos, you can go check out other guys for that. But if you want behind the scenes of pilot life and the real talk about it and having a family and those kinds of things, like hit subscribe, ring the bell, follow me on Instagram. Yeah, I've been here for a couple days. May go home tonight, may go home tomorrow. Still trying to figure that out, but that's okay. It's the best job in the world. Aviation, a career in aviation is so exciting, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But that doesn't mean that it has its demands and the prices you have to pay for it. Someone DM'd me recently on Facebook and said, Corey, how do you do it? How do you find balance? How do you manage being gone and the responsibilities at home and maybe church or community or whatever? How do you do it? I've been in it for 10 years now. I've got 4 little kids and I'm married. It hasn't always been easy. It's definitely had its challenges. But let me share with you a couple of things that have worked for us and kind of what the secret is to finding balance. The best way I think I can describe finding balance in a career in aviation is to use an aviation weight and balance. Now, if you're familiar with that, you know that there's parameters that the airplane has to be within for it to fly safely. If you're too far heavy in the nose or in the tail, it affects you aerodynamically in ways that could kill you, at least be unsafe. The heavier you weigh, the more that it's in the airplane, those limits get tighter. And I think the same thing is true for balance in whether any life, any aviation career or any profession really. I think that principle applies. Life is never going to balance perfectly in the middle. Like if on the, think of a teeter-totter, it's never going to necessarily always be right in the middle. And even if it is in the middle, you may have one thing that's really heavy over here, but like 5 things that are back here kind of equal up to it. Sometimes your career weighs really heavy, but you got a weight back here balancing that. And to me, that heavy weight, that when my career gets busy and heavy, the secret sauce is a supportive wife. Somebody that understands that and that can carry that extra weight back here. She's definitely been the rock when I'm gone. The kids have a normal life. She, does all the things. And especially this week. This week's been really hard on her. It's Halloween. There's been parties and costumes and things she's had to plan, and I've been gone all week. And it's also been difficult for her emotionally because a lot of you know her mom passed away last year. I talked about that. Halloween was her favorite holiday, so that's been weighing on her. It's just a lot, and like I said, she's been sick. So and me being gone has been extra heavy this week, and she's been back here holding it on, or holding it down. And that's the secret sauce. You have to communicate, and I'm not always good at that. I'm not always good at maybe communicating my support for it. I'm no expert at this. This isn't to say I've got this figured out. I'm constantly trying to learn it. I've made videos about how important having a good spouse is before an aviation career. That's why aviation marriages fall apart. Having someone that can be that rock and hold that balance. Now, there were times, and she communicated with me. When my first job, I was gone all the time. Schedule was constantly changing. It was so heavy over here. She just couldn't always hold it down. Well, she always held it down, but like it was too much on her. It was too much, and she told me that. And so that's why I quit my first job and went to go work in Ohio. And essentially, it's why we came back to Utah and took this job, because I knew that balance would be, instead of always pushing the limits, it would be more in here. And it has been that way, And it's not to say that some weeks like this week are maybe a little heavier, but, she's able to pick up that slack. It's still in the balance. We each have limits. And it's the best way I can think of it, just like an airplane weight and balance. And as the heavier you get, the more things you throw on, the tighter those things are. If she's got a lot going on, and I've got a busy week, it can throw that out of balance and out of whack, and there's going to be weeks where you're out of balance, and it's hard. and you just do the best that you can. Communication helps. But there's a lot I can do better. You know, when you are home, trying to be home, I've said that before, and that's even hard. When you're used to a life where you're on your own all the time, and it's quiet, and you don't have a bunch of kids running around, you get kind of spoiled, and it gets really nice. So then when you go home, there's kind of this transition period where sometimes it's clunky, and it's getting back into the routine, and it's hard. And it's hard, I think, for both of us, but I'm still working on it. I have not figured that out. I'm not an expert at that. And when I become an expert at that, I will make a video of it, but that'll probably be 30 years down the road when I have grandkids. So it's a fluid process. It's something I'm still learning, still going through. But you know, my wife, she's the one that holds it down. And there's certainly times when I think it gets too heavy the other direction. There's times when I have a lot of time off, and that can make me go crazy too. And it's one of the reasons I went back to flight instruct. I felt like it was too far balanced the other way, not balanced. It was out of balance, and I needed to get out of the house and have something that I could do when I was home. And I was nervous about it because I felt like, I'm home, I should be home. But it was honestly something that it was affecting me mentally, where I just couldn't sit around the house anymore. And I talked to my wife about it, we communicated, and she completely supports me in doing the flight instructing. She loves it. She said the other day, she's like, I don't miss you when you're home, but you're gone, if that makes sense. She doesn't miss when I'm flight instructing, but you know, if I'm gone overnight a couple nights, that's when it, you know, gets hard on her. So if you're home during the day, you're probably just getting in my way, and you know, so she loves that. She loves that I can get out of the house and have something like that to do, and that's helped bring that balance back. Where instead of where it gets home too much and gone too much, there's just, you know, hopefully this is making sense. I don't know if it is. Hopefully, if you have questions, you know, DM me, let me know. But just wanted to get this video out there. There's no perfect way to find balance in an aviation career. It's going to take you some time, communication, and figuring out what your limits are. But think of the weight and balance graph. Understand that there's times, yes, where it is going to be career centric. There's times it's going to be home centric, and you probably get burned out there too. And there's time I just itch and I gotta go fly. It just is what it is. So that's my take on that. Think aviation, weight and balance. Think limits. You understand that as the weight goes up, those balance are tighter. Communicate with your spouse. Find out what you guys need. This is not marital advice. I'm not a licensed therapist, but this is just from experience. These are things that have worked for us, and you know, we're still figuring it out too. It's not always easy. Aviation is the best career. If you love flying airplanes and you like being out on the road, it's worth it. But you gotta talk to your spouse. You gotta make sure that if you're thinking of a career change, some of you guys are, I know, that they can handle it. That's the biggest thing I tell you, because they don't know. Like if they're used to you being home every night and have those routines, all of a sudden you're gone, it could be tough. So, you know, what kind of environment did they grow up in? Did their dad travel? Those kinds of things, or mom or dad's just trying to be PC here. That's my take for today. Gonna go have a nice nap probably this afternoon, and it's kind of crummy out here in Memphis today. It's cold and wet and cloudy. I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll see if we get home tonight or not. But anyways, that's my thoughts for today. Take it easy, guys, and we'll catch you later.